Today, an unexpected twist. Benjamin Mendy, former Manchester City player, has won a multi-million-pound lawsuit against the club. In a case filled with controversies and surprises, Mendy sought justice for unpaid wages, a legal battle that challenged the trust of many and has now reached an unforeseen conclusion. On one side, Manchester City, one of the most powerful clubs in the world. On the other, a player who once shone on the pitch but faced devastating personal and professional trials. The question now is, what does this mean for the future of players, clubs, and the fans themselves? If you've ever felt your heart race at the last-minute decisions or have experienced the weight of injustice, then subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming chapters of this story and much more from the world of football. Here, every piece of news becomes an epic showdown. Every detail matters. Mendy's case goes far beyond money. Having been acquitted of serious charges, he now demands his right to receive what he worked hard to earn. The club suspended his payments since 2021, claiming that while he was in custody, they could not fulfill his contract. But for Mendy, the story cannot end this way. Not after so many twists and turns, and certainly not after fighting for his innocence. Imagine spending 2 years in uncertainty, with everything you've built being questioned. This is exactly what Mendy has experienced. Now he demands justice, not just for the millions he has been denied, but for the dignity he has sought to reclaim. And what about you, the fan? Do you think he is right to fight until the end to recover this right? Share your thoughts in the comments about what you would do in his position. However, Mendy's victory was not absolute. The judge determined that he is entitled to part of the amount claimed, but not everything he requested. A divided decision that leaves many questions unanswered and puts City in an uncomfortable position. The club has remained silent so far, perhaps waiting for the storm to pass. But will the fans, who are already enduring tough moments with the team, forgive this stance? Meanwhile, as Mendy emerges victorious from this dispute, Manchester City is facing its own challenges both on and off the pitch. The team has just suffered a harsh streak of defeats, culminating in an unexpected thrashing by Sporting. Guardiola, with his history of success, seems to be going through a complicated phase, pressured by a series of injuries and the need to rebuild a team that has lost its shine. But if there's one thing Guardiola has never been, it's complacent. Now more than ever, I want to see this team back at the top, he declared with the determination that has earned him the respect of the fans. The challenge is immense, and he knows it. Rodri, Ruben Dias, Grealish, key players who are greatly missed, and even those who have taken the field like De Bruyne and Gundogan seem far from their best form. The pressing question now is, what will be the next step for Manchester City? The pressure on Guardiola is mounting, and the young players who have gained opportunities find themselves in a delicate position. Will they manage to shoulder the responsibility and honor the weight of the shirt? The Spanish coach has shown he can turn difficulties into victories, but this phase for City seems particularly challenging. With this, another question arises. Will the club continue to invest in stars and renewals, or will this series of crises signal that it's time to reassess their strategy? City finds itself at a critical juncture, where every decision could define the course of the season and perhaps even the future. For the fans, it's tough to watch this succession of stumbles, but it also serves as a reminder that in football, nothing is guaranteed. And for you, who follows every play, every news update, have you considered that behind these figures and these processes, there are stories that go beyond the pitch? It's the real drama of football, where millions are at stake. But what truly matters is the passion and struggle of every athlete, every coach, every supporter. What is your opinion on the outcome of this case? Mendy, City, Guardiola. Who do you think is most impacted by this story? These questions remain open for you, the passionate fan, who is here with us through every challenge, every triumph, and every twist. After all, in football, nothing is as straightforward as it seems, and that is what makes it so exciting and unpredictable. In the conclusion of this legal battle, Benjamin Mendy not only recovers part of the money lost, but also a portion of his own reputation. The impact of this is not negligible. The case resonates throughout the football industry, raising discussions about the power dynamics between clubs and players and how delicate situations like this can change the way teams manage their contracts and their athletes. Mendy, who faced the burden of devastating accusations and was sidelined from his activities, saw his career crumble. But now, amid this legal victory, the chance for a fresh start emerges. Thinking about it, what does this situation reveal about the values of football? In a sport that moves billions, a player's contract is more than just a piece of paper. It is the foundation for a relationship built on mutual trust. When the accusation against Mendy arose, City chose to suspend payments, a decision that some viewed as hasty, even if legally justified in certain respects. But was that really the fairest course of action? And what do you think? Should the club have waited for the conclusion of the investigations before taking such a drastic measure? Share your thoughts below. Meanwhile, for Mendy, this is a story of resilience. Once a promising millionaire player, he found himself at the center of one of the most serious scandals in recent years. However, he defended himself, faced the courts, and ultimately had his innocence proven. Now he embarks on the reconstruction of his career at a new club, Lorient in France. Choosing to move forward away from the spotlight of a club like City is a strategic step, an attempt to reclaim his place and rebuild his image. For many, this reveals a side of Mendy that the public knew little about, the player who, instead of giving up, confronts a new challenge head-on. But Mendy isn't the only one seeking redemption. Manchester City, at the same time, is grappling with a phase of technical and emotional crisis. 3 consecutive defeats, the latest being a thrashing in the Champions League, certainly bruises the pride of a club accustomed to dominance. Pep Guardiola, renowned for his leadership and tactical intelligence, faces the most pressure he has encountered since arriving at the club. Deprived of key players, he must swiftly find new solutions, or this losing streak may escalate into a more severe crisis. But is City prepared for this turnaround? The pressure for results is immense, especially after the humiliating defeat to Sporting, which exposed unexpected vulnerabilities. The team, which once seemed invincible in past seasons, now faces the harsh reality of a depleted squad, where young players must step up. It's a situation that challenges the manager and demands an agile strategy. With the eyes of the world on the club, every mistake is magnified and every decision is scrutinized. At the heart of all this is Pep Guardiola, a manager who has built a reputation as a winner and visionary. Yet even for him, this moment is critical. The absence of key names like Rodri and Ruben Dias directly impacts the team's performance, and even attempts to bolster the squad with young talent have yet to prove sufficient. Now it falls to the Spanish coach to decide the club's direction. Is it time to make room for new signings, or to trust in the internal prospects in an effort to maintain team spirit and the group's confidence? For the fans, the scenario is challenging. Manchester City has always been a team accustomed to victories, and any series of defeats is felt as a breach of expectation. The passionate and demanding supporters closely observe every move from Guardiola and his coaching staff. They know the club has the potential to bounce back, but they also understand that the moment requires more than just words. It requires action and, above all, results. And what do you think? Will Guardiola be able to turn things around and restore City's status as a powerhouse, or will the club need to rethink its strategy? It's a question that lingers, and every fan has their own perspective. Share your thoughts in the comments. Speaking of challenges, Mendy isn't the only player undergoing a moment of reconstruction. In football, stories like this remind us that behind the million-pound contracts, there are human beings facing situations that often spiral out of control. Mendy, for instance, had to prove his innocence in a hostile environment, where many had already judged him guilty before the final verdict. His victory, albeit partial, is proof that the system isn't always unforgiving, but it demands strength to confront what seems impossible. Mendy's path is far from easy. At Lorient, he must essentially start from scratch. Far from the limelight of Manchester, he now faces a new challenge in his career, carrying the weight of a difficult past and the pressure to show he can still be relevant. This fresh start, while risky, represents a real opportunity for him, and perhaps a chance to find peace after so many years of uncertainty and distrust. So, what can we expect for the future of Mendy, Manchester City, and Guardiola? Each of these protagonists finds themselves at a crossroads. Mendy seeks recognition and a revival of his career. Guardiola is looking for a chance to revive his team and reestablish confidence. And City has the opportunity to demonstrate that, even in times of crisis, it can reinvent itself and move forward. And now, I pose the question to you, football fans. What's your prediction? Will City manage to turn the tide and regain its prominent position? Will Guardiola find a formula to navigate through so many absences? And what about Mendy? Will he be able to resurrect his career and prove he can still make a difference on the pitch? The answers to all of this remain open, and that's precisely what makes football so fascinating and unpredictable. In the end, what matters is that the battles taking place off the field are often as intense as those within the four lines. So, if you want to follow every detail of this saga, every twist, and every new revelation, you know what to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a single moment. Here, every piece of news is an opportunity to experience the thrill of football with intensity. Also, share your thoughts in the comments. What do you expect for the future of Mendy, Guardiola, and City? Stay tuned, because in the world of football, the next twist could be just a pass away.